What's up, guys? Welcome to Chasing Pelagics. This is your SoCal fishing forecast for Thursday, May 30th. Quick look at our 10-day weather here. Looks like Groundhog Day every day. High 60s, low 70s, fog in the morning, eddy conditions every single day for the past 10, for the next 10. It's on repeat, but we'll get through it. There is a cutoff flow that's going to form here at I guess towards Friday. It's supposed to start, and then high pressure moves in second half of the month. So summer is just around the corner, and we'll be all right. All right, quick look at our wind model here from windy.com, and as you can see, we have those northwest winds that are doing their spring thing here, coming around the islands, creating pretty glassy conditions locally. But once, obviously you get behind San Clemente Island there, you'll be in that northwest window of swell, and wind conditions are going to be significantly different. So if you think about exploring offshore, take that wind line that you're looking at there into consideration. And although, this shows us mainly under 15 knots, there's going to be times when this stuff's going to ramp up, and it could be a little bit unpredictable as far as the intensity of the actual winds out there. So I kind of play it by ear, but just as you head west, it's going to get significantly worse, especially days like Sunday. You're going to see us in 20 knots there. Although it's brief, like I said, you got to kind of watch it as it gets closer. Things are pretty much in the same holding pattern for the next week or so. So there we are. Actual marine conditions is what we're seeing here. 4 to 6 foot, west 10 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet. So pretty much the same old stuff, 3 feet 9 seconds, 2 feet from the south. That's your summertime swell along far away swell, so nothing to be concerned about. But really, it's that northwest swell that we're talking about that might be troublesome for the private boaters, not really for sport boats. Not going to be big enough to really be a deal breaker. Current charts are awful because of that cloud cover. This is our 8-day chlorophyll chart, and this is our 8-day temperature chart. Not great looking. So we're going to go by with what we got to work with here, but we do have trending warming waters here on the inside. It is a little spotty along the coast. We do have a little bit of a red tide coming on. It's pretty streaky. It's not one of those gross ones where it just ruins everything, but it is a little streaky along the coast here. I was out Saturday poking around, and it's really only like a quarter mile off. It might ruin some of your inshore fishing, but slide down a mile or two, and it could look completely different. So obviously, there's an 8-day chart, so don't take it as the gospel. It is an average over 8 days, and that cloud cover is really blocking a lot of our view here. But we do have some nice clean water coming up here in front of San Clemente for once. So this yellowtail action could be looking a little bit more hopeful than what it has been. Fishing wise, Channel Islands, if you can make it out there in these awful winds and get a chance to poke around, there has been still pretty nice little sea bass bites, nice fish being caught, good great stuff, 40, maybe 50 pounds you might see out there. And fluke style fishing, just the usual deal up there. No real reports coming from Santa Barbara or from San Nick for more than a week, really. Wind's kind of been out there. Fishing hasn't been that great. So the Boomer Bus Island hasn't had that great of conditions. So really not worth checking out at the moment. Wait till things lighten up and clean up a little bit. And then maybe come middle of June, this might be a better option. But we'll see how it goes. Catalina's had a little bit of sprinkle of yellowtail. Some good quality ones. Primarily on the backside. 20, 30 pound stuff. There's a little sprinkle of them along the front as well here. If you're trying to target those from the Bonita, bass, and barracuda, I highly recommend trolling slow troll mackerel or a mackerel colored lure such as Rapala Mag 30 or DMX Minnow from Nomad. We happen to sell them both if you want to support the channel and something that you don't already have in your tackle box. Good choices, and you can troll them fast. You can troll them almost as fast as Mad Max. I got pretty bit on them, probably 11, 12 knots still. But really, I mean, they perform the best about 6 to 8 knots, really. probably what you're looking for if you wanted to dive down that 30 feet or whatnot. If you're going too fast, you'll know they slip right up and pop up. So you'll find the limits of them pretty quick. Talk about San Clemente Island. Island's finally getting a little bit more action here. Good sign of yellows on the front side. No good news on the backside. No squid to be found anywhere. No yellows at the dunes or the kelp line here. Unfortunately, still just really seeing some yellows down here on the front side. Persane area has been still the best showing so far, but don't doubt that they won't pop up down here by Pyramid Cove. So that is another opportunity. Moving down south, Coronado Islands has had a really nice little showing of yellows lately. Not wide open, but if you spend the time looking for them, you can definitely find them. And make sure you spend a little bit of time following all the way down to the least to the rock pile. As I always say, check the islands, check the rock pile, maybe even the 101. Really coming out of bird schools, so watch for diving birds. I would recommend casting yo-yos, or once you're on top of them, then you can fly line some baits and keep them chummed up heavy to keep them coming back. But really, that's kind of been the target as of late. Bluefin have been bluefin. So we are just past the full moon. Typically, bluefin bite better on the first half of the full moon than the last half. The last half, I think they kind of get a little sluggish, but warming up to the full moon seems to be the most aggressive time for them. A lot of boats were out over the holiday weekend, and they were really catching the end of the full moon and starting to fade on the back. And mixed fishing, not that saying fish couldn't be caught, and not saying that it'll ever really just turn it off. But in terms of aggressiveness, I think coming into a full moon, you usually see like an 80 to a 90% aggressiveness. And then on the backside, like a 25 to 30% of aggressiveness, if you want to somehow measure that accurately. But that's just from my own experience. Size of fish out there varies. 30 pounds to 230, I think, was the biggest caught so far, somewhere around there. All the sport boats are pretty much catching everything at nighttime. When it's windy, you're going to need those heavy jigs. These smaller jigs work great, but unless they're staying vertical, they don't work. So remember, when you're jigging at night, your jig needs to be vertical, straight up and down. No more than like 15 degrees, maybe 20 at the most. Once it's past 20, you might as well just change to a heavier jig because you're just wasting your time. Once you're up to a 500-gram jig, if you're still having scope problems, you're going to have to start casting on the wrong side of the boat and hoping it gets to the zone where you want it by the time it's up and down. So whether that means being on the downwind side, casting in the corner, falling across the stern of the boat, walking it to the wind side corner, that's a strategy that works, and it's worked for me several times. So if you only have a 400-gram jig or you don't have anything bigger, 500 grams, I'd always recommend put one or two in your bag and make sure you got it, because there's times when you're going to need it. When that current's going and that wind's blowing, it may be really, really tough. So like I said, once those jigs get scoped out 30, 40 degrees, they definitely don't work very well at all. So just keep that in your arsenal. Daytime fishing, yeah, I highly recommend moving to a smaller jig. Like I said, I like the 80 to 130 size jigs. Daiwa's Akana is a fun jig to fish. I think it works really good. Same with the Colt Sniper or Current Sniper, whatever you want to call it, from Shimano. It's the same jig, same style, all dedicated to the same style fishing. So just make sure you got the appropriate size treble hooks on those if that's what you want to fish. I like fishing with trebles. I got 3X heavy, 3-aught or a 4-aught, maybe even go to a 5, depending if you're up to like a 130-gram jig, somewhere around there. But that's generally what's working. Areas of interest. We talked about before, following the bottom detail. And like I said, we've seen these fish from the 60-mile bank to the butterfly, a little bit towards the 43, up to the corner, but they're kind of stopping on this hard ridgeline here. And yeah, there's probably more even west of here, but just people haven't gone out into that wind. They're trying to play on the conditions too. So we'll see how it goes. And the people that have had rough times out here have also slid back down south to the upper Hidden. That's where they started before they slid up here. So kind of in that general zone is where you're going to see them lined up. But also over the weekend, people want to say the fishing was a little slow and whatnot. When you have 25 sport boats over the same area, that's going to scatter the fish too. So it's not always just the ocean and marine conditions. It's also the boat conditions. So if you want to listen to 25 boats driving over your head all day, bluefin don't like it, and they usually bug out. Sometimes they're just as noted with stuff as sea bass. So keep that in mind here as well as we head into another potentially nice weekend here. So that's it for this week, guys. Be safe out there, and we'll catch you next week. Cheers. Hey, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and check out our website and online store at chasingpelagics.com. And make sure you share the stoke.